Hey everybody, I'm back from Disney. How are you? How's everybody doing? Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday evening. I am Peter Brown, and as always, the man that held down the fort last week. Please welcome in our buddy Uncle Ed, America's favorite uncle, I think, right?
Oh yeah, everybody's favorite Uncle Ed. Even though there's more uncles nowadays, but Peter, man, I'm so glad you're back. Last time I choked because I didn't have any water. It was a nightmare, man. It was a nightmare for me, but I got through it, and people supported. So you're here, thank goodness. And
I mean,
I so much happening.
I saw a little bit of it. I jumped in at the tail end. I was actually I was riding the Disney Skyliner. I don't even know if you know what that is, but it's just like this bucket ride, that takes you from Epcot to Hollywood Studios and around some of the resorts. So I'm sitting in that thing, elevated, a couple hundred feet above the ground, just watching a little football on Miami TV, seeing what you're up to.
Nice. I did see you chime in real quick, and that was pretty cool. I was like, Peter Brown's here, yay! But not totally. So
no, and only for a couple minutes at the end. And yeah, it looked good, sounded good, and everybody was in there with you, which was awesome. Hey, but before we go too deep into a lot to talk about tonight, and just like we did 2 weeks ago when I was here, we'll let the chat drive a lot of that because I think that's a lot of fun, getting you guys even more involved than maybe we have in the past. I don't have a whole lot of agenda to talk about or anything. It's mostly just talk with you guys, so be active in the chat and all that, and we'll welcome you guys all in just a couple of seconds. But before we do that, we do have to say a big thank you to our sponsor, Caneswear. So Caneswear is in Davie. And if you are anywhere near Davie, you need to drop into the store. Go and get yourself some Inter Miami gear. And if you're not anywhere near Davie, if you're in Orlando, wherever you are, I mean, because we have several people from Orlando that said, screw Orlando City, we're supporting the Herons. You could go to caneswear.com and get all your Inter Miami gear. And I know they have new gear coming soon. I was talking to them recently, and they've got some new stuff coming soon. So once they load up and get the new gear in, I will do another shopping video. So we'll go and we will check it out. So that's a lot of fun. So go to Caneswear, and thanks so much for supporting us. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is support them. So,
oh yeah, all the best stuff at Caneswear, guys. Don't forget to go there. Peter,
welcome some folks from the chat. Why don't you, Ed?
Yeah, let's say hello to some people. Thanks for a lot of these people were there supporting while you were gone. So a big shout out to Jazz Fusion. Right before him was Jose Velasquez. How you doing, Jose? The good judge himself, Judge Dredd the Law, one of the people that that's living up there north, in Evil Land or Disneyland or whatever you want to call it. But he supports Inter Miami. Good for him. It's the least he could do.
And before we go any further, I think he poses a question in there. Unrelated note. Who else is kind of looking forward to seeing King Kong vs. Godzilla? I know that the trailer just dropped. I did not get a chance to watch it yet.
Oh, it looks pretty cool, man.
Does it look good?
You see King Kong punch. Oh, this is spoiler alert. Sorry about that.
It's a trailer.
Spoiler. Yeah, well, I think. Well, still it's a trailer, but people who haven't seen it like you you get to see. Anyways, King Kong.
You can't spoil a trailer.
Godzilla. There you go.
You can't. I mean, you can spoil a movie. You can't spoil a trailer. Come on, a trailer is all about spoiling.
Punches, Godzilla. Maybe somebody didn't want to know about that. Now they're gonna like, oh man, ruined the trailer, Uncle Ed. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. King Kong versus Godzilla is a buddy flick.
Oh no, I don't know verse because last time people criticized you because you said verse instead of verses.
Verse, whatever. Grammar police. But they're gonna fight, so obviously that is not a spoiler alert that he punched him. All right. Anyways, let's continue. I think
he punched him. Yeah, we got off track here with our nerd stuff, but anyways, and that's Judge Dredd's fault. So
yes.
One world, one goal, always supporting us. We knew her since back in the Fusion days, and she's of course mentioning, Chris Henderesen being the new sporting director. So And Peter's got that fusion gear going. What's up with the fusion stuff, man?
Celebrating Chris Henderson with kicking it old school. And one thing, Ed, I noticed, now I've lost some weight, but not only that, if you remember, soccer shirts back in the 90s and early in 2000s, they were a lot just like bigger. I mean, this thing is like a tent. Look at this thing. This thing is like a giant tent on me now. I mean, if
a flag or something.
Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, it's like a flag. And
wow.
But it looks good. It's still in good shape.
Real nice, man. Real nice.
Old
Had
I
known, I
in
would
good shape.
I would have put on my fusion jersey, but
we don't talk before the show, so Ed has no idea. Ed has no idea. This totally unscripted show. We don't even. Ed has no idea what we're gonna really.
No idea. Anyways, we want to say hello to Futboler, always supporting us as well. He's talking about yes, we had Peter did all that. There's that picture of the new heads of Inter Miami, and of course, if you guys didn't know, Bernie Sanders is also part of the new ownership group. Apparently,
Bernie is everywhere. And have you noticed that one of the things I noticed that was popping up all throughout my Facebook feed is rock bands, or maybe it's just all kinds of bands, but the bands I saw happen to be rock bands, of redoing their album covers with Bernie Sanders in there.
Oh man, no! It just doesn't stop.
How
many days has it been already?
I don't know. What was it? It was in the middle of the week, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. I don't remember exactly what day the inauguration was, but I mean, everywhere I turn, I'm just seeing Bernie. So of course, he's got to show up on FMTV.
Yeah, he's gonna that thing's eventually gonna burn out, but for now, it's going strong.
It's pretty funny.
Everybody's got pictures. It is pretty funny. We've also got. Let me see who else we got. We got a nice conversation going there between some of the guys. Jose Carrillo, how are you, my friend? Thanks for listening to Futbol Miami TV. We got Andre G, who's also on board
from Germany.
Talking with us.
Germany's greetings from Germany.
Was ist das? I used to live in Germany myself. I used to live in Bremen. So, shout out to all the Deutschlanders.
Nice.
And Diego Milan Moose is also on board. Nice. Diego, how you doing? And let's see, man. We got more people here, but there we go. Whoa. I went far too down. I'm sorry if I missed some of you guys, but Dan the Destroyer, another one of our longtime watchers, listeners, and they've got a big conversation going on right now. And there's I think that's it for now, Peter.
All right, yeah, it's a good roll call. Everybody that's in here, though, make sure you hit that thumbs up. That helps. So we only have 3 thumbs up. We need more. So and of course, one roll, one goal. She would appreciate the shirt.
Oh, of course.
And she went to Caneswear and bought her niece some T-shirts, Inter Miami shirts.
Right. Well, it's the least she could do. Yeah. Peter, what's the Oh, look at Andre G says he's from Bremen too. No way, dude. Well, I wasn't from Bremen. I lived there. I was stationed there when I was in the Army. So I used to party in that city like there was no tomorrow. So it was a good time. And I was younger too, so good times.
I've seen some of those pictures you post when you were in the military. Man, that was a totally different dude.
It was. I had hair. I didn't have a beard. I totally looked different. So guys, if you want to leave a message, Peter just put up the number 786-474-4435. Leave us a message and we'll play it. If you got questions, if you want to bitch, Peter out because he wasn't here last weekend and you guys were stuck with me, or whatever you guys want, just put leave us a message and we'll put it on.
Or like our favorite 12-year-old last 2 weeks ago is asking us what our favorite food was. So anything goes, right? Within reason.
Well, whatever. We won't. Yeah. Well, if you want us to talk about Godzilla versus King Kong, we'll talk about that too.
So the second Godzilla movie, I don't know if I saw that one, but I heard it was not very good. That's one that had Millie Bobby Brown in it.
Yeah.
I think it's on HBO right now, and I was thinking about watching it, but I just was like, am I just wasting my time?
Yeah, they had some crazy, monsters on there, but for me, it was entertaining. Dude, the plot in those things aren't, aren't the best, but they always have to have the kid in there, and the drama. The kid falls, and they're gonna, the monster's gonna step on him or whatever. It's the typical, monster, giant monster movies or whatever that involves children and this and that. But it's entertaining, Peter, and hopefully this King Kong versus Godzilla one's gonna.
Yeah, hopefully. It's one everybody's been asking for years. Before we get into like a lot of the things, obviously, we were thinking about talking about, obviously, we have to talk about Chris Henderson and Phil Neville. But before we do that, let's hit some of these questions that are in the chat. And I see Judge Dredd is asking if there is any news on our kits and sponsor. I'm assuming no, but maybe someone knows something. Well, what we have heard, and it was a leak from that one website, Footy Headlines? Is that the name of the website, Ed? They had basically leaked out that we're going to get a new black jersey, but we're still going to have the same old same old white jersey, which is not a surprise. I know a lot of people are kind of upset about that, but it's not really a surprise because most MLS teams change their jerseys every 2 years. And if I remember correctly, I think they end up getting it on kind of a rotation where I don't think you necessarily get 2 new jerseys every 2 years. I think they'll get it on, every year you might get a new jersey, but it's going to be every 2 years, it's going to be either the home or the away, right? So, right. And it makes sense that we would replace the black one because that was the 25th anniversary shirt. Every team had the 25th anniversary shirt. It was specific for the 25th anniversary, so it makes sense that one's going to go away, and we'll get a new black of some sort to replace that. That's what I've heard. Have you heard anything else, Ed?
No, man. It's exactly the same thing. I think that's going to be what happens. We're just going to get one of the jerseys this year. But I have heard a rumor that's possible that some teams are going to actually have a third kit. And I remember some years back, they did that for a little bit. It didn't go too well. Should I go get my Miami Fusion third kit? I got it. Oh, you should go do it. Go do it, man, because that'll be, that's the way to do it. But Inter Miami is selling jerseys, so it might be a good idea to do the third kit.
So what I saw mentioned was that, and I don't remember if there's any kind of official note or if it's just fan chat, but what I saw mentioned was that the top selling MLS jerseys, those teams would get the option to have a third. So it's like you earned the option to have a third jersey by being a top seller and selling kit. And I think Inter Miami is one of the top selling MLS shirts. Right. So it is. Right. So it would all that makes sense that we could potentially have a third kit this year. So I mean that's a possibility, and the thought is maybe they're going to turn up the pay. Hey, one thing I wanted to ask you: did you watched you saw pictures of the draft, right?
Yeah, sure did.
Did you think that everybody was wearing in the Inter Miami? They were all wearing the long sleeve 3/4 zip that I have. That pink is a little bit brighter than what I have. It's a different jacket. They've turned up the pink a little bit in those. You know how I could tell it was a different jacket? Let me pull up this picture of Neville here. If you look closely, no, you really don't see it there. You could sort of see it here. Like, okay, look, if you just look in this on Chris Henderson's side above the crest, the back half of the collar, it's black. Yeah. It's black. Like right next to the stripes. You could just see it creeping there. It's black.
Comes down from the stripes, yeah.
That means the back half of the collar, for example, may be black. The current one that I bought that was from 2020 is not black. So this definitely is a new, and like Jose Velasquez is saying, it is a new one. But you could tell, and I was sitting there watching it, and I'm thinking, yeah, it's a little bit of a brighter pink. It's not that washed out pink that we have this year or this past year. So looks like they've turned up the pink a little bit, which I'm a fan of, and I think most people are. And if they did that with the third kit, that would be your number one selling kit, at least for Inter Miami, maybe the league.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want a pink one. I used to complain. My wife always tells me, "Oh, wear pink. You need bright colors or whatever." And I was like, "No, I'm not going to wear pink." And then our soccer team has pink. So after that, I'm kind of warming into the pink now. If they would have had a jersey, I totally would have bought the pink one. I would
I
be wearing it all the time.
I'm right there with you. My wife for years wanted me to wear a pink shirt, and it wasn't that it's not that. Hey, I was like afraid to wear pink. It just was like that's just not my thing. I'm just not into it. I'm just not into it. It's just not my color. Now my team wears pink. You can't get me out of pink. I'm like, let me that 3/4 zip. I'm wearing that, and I'm wearing it all. I'm wearing it all around
underwear
Disney.
too. You wear the pink, underwear too. So, makes sense, Peter. Makes total sense to me.
They do have on the Inter Miami store thing. They do have some Inter Miami underwear. I would totally wear that. But if I remember, it was like $30. I'm not paying $30 for a pair of underwear. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's expensive butt huggers. Yeah, they were the butt hugger ones too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. But hey, welcome to Marvin Meals here. He's a longtime viewer as well. He's here every Sunday, but apparently he's normally watching it from his TV, so he can't sign in. Now he's on his phone. I know what you mean. I watch all my YouTube on my TV. Even if I'm watching something live, I'm not necessarily signed in to chat, except for last week when I was on my phone with the show. So I get it. Marvin happens to say he's still not a big fan of the pink. Well, got to get used to it, right? Well, hey, you do and you don't. You can because they're wearing black a lot. I mean, you could just wear black and pink as your accent color. You can go for that,
right?
But I'm on
a lot
board.
of the T-shirts are black and pink, so I've been buying those. But I do now that if eventually they'll come out with the pink one, I'll be totally down for wearing those.
Matty G has a cool idea, although it'll never happen. It would be cool to have Fusion-inspired third kit, Vamos Miami.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll happen though.
I don't see it ever happening because MLS looks at the Fusion as a failure.
Right.
So I don't see it happening. It would be cool. They in the NFL they have throwback nights. And the team you'll see like the Tampa Bay Bucks wear their creamsicle orange, outfits and stuff like that, and going old school. So this would be kind of like our throwback would be the Miami Fusion, but I don't see. I think if they were going to embrace the past, they would embrace the strikers probably before they would embrace the Fusion.
Yeah, but there was a couple years back, there was a team called the Miami Fusion.
There was,
and I don't know if they bought the rights for it. I mean, did MLS? Does MLS no longer own the Fusion name?
They let that trademark go. They probably own. I'm going to bet that they own the logo, the likeness of this logo. But the Miami Fusion FC was that other organization had bought it, and they were in the NPSL or APSL or one of those fourth division leagues.
Yeah, the owner I think had bought the name. He played. Was it one season, maybe two?
One season. I think that was about it.
And then he gave up. Yeah, they seemed to be kind of strong, and then he just I think lost interest.
Yeah. I don't know anymore. Says they would probably embrace the original Miami FC. See, I don't think so because that also is so. Original Miami FC is Traffic Sports. Well, they went down in a ball of flames with the whole FIFA scandal. Thanks to our buddy Aaron, and turned into the Strikers, and so I don't see that happening either. And there's a current Miami FC that's currently playing.
I was going to say that too. And I think they own the rights to that name now. So
no, they own the Miami FC.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know if they own Miami FC because Miami FC was I don't know. I don't know if Traffic Sports gave them the rights to that. I don't remember. I probably knew that back then, but I've forgotten so much of that old Aaron Davidson information.
Well, Peter, now that we're talking about all the name problems, they Inter Miami recently put it on their website. For people not to get confused with, it's something that we've been talking about the past few weeks. we've mentioned that Inter Miami is not going to lose their name, and they basically said the same thing on the website. Did you check that out?
Yeah. I read that, and and that's the thing is it. The whole lawsuit is about the word Inter and Inter by itself. So Inter Miami cannot put out without breaking, say, trademark laws, and I mean they're still fighting it. But let's say everything holds up for Inter Milan. The way I understand it, and the way and you read the article, so you see if you agree with me, is it can't cannot sell a shirt with like a pink Inter and their logo underneath. It has to say Inter Miami, and there's no problem with it saying Inter Miami. The trademark is just about Inter and Inter by itself because the word Inter is synonymous with one and one team. At least that's what they think. The interesting thing is Inter Milan, it's going to go through their own rebrand pretty soon, apparently. Or at least that's rumored. I did see that was rumored, and then I saw someone else kind of debunk it, so I'm not exactly sure. One World, One Goal is commenting on my comment about the fusion, saying that, Peter, they let Kansas City throwbacks to the Wizards. Yes, but Kansas City did not get retracted. Kansas City just rebranded from the Wiz to the Wizards to Sporting KC. So,
what do you think about the Wiz name?
Oh man, that was the first one. You should look up. You should look up those jerseys from the first year. The Wiz kits were. I'm saying. Do I say amazing or do I say awful? I don't know. They're one of those. Amazingly awful.
They were like I'll talk about follow the yellow brick road, huh?
Yeah. So, anyways, long story to say. We don't have to worry about Inter Miami changing their name. Everything's good. Yeah.
So don't worry, guys. Right. That name's not going anywhere. They don't have to rebrand totally, as a lot of people were saying, and it's not going to happen.
So Ed, let's get to one of our voicemails. One World, One Goal left us a voicemail, and this will probably get us back on track of maybe talking about some of the topics we kind of had in mind. Hang on, my computer wants to install Adobe. It wants to install Adobe all of a sudden. That's not good. This is not a good time to do that. But here, let's play this.
Hey, it's Italia of the Aficionados, One World, One Goal, and very excited to welcome Chris Henderesen, Miami Fusion's own. We're excited the team is finally listening to us kibitzing every week. We've got a European coach, which should be good, and we pair it with a past MLSer who knows the league, and this one knows South Florida and knows the great fans we have. So One World, One Goal is actually a charity for Diego Serna 17, where he collects gear and he trains kids and, gives a little charity back. So looking forward to doing more things when things open up in the community. I guess the end of the year now we're looking like, huh? But I just wanted to say this is a fantastic move. Very excited. We don't always need that flash in the pan, that big superstar coach or superstar front office people. We need these hardworking guys. And I think Beckham still wants to be the star. So it's okay that we don't have any super big names. Imagine if we do get Cristiano Ronaldo, he and Beckham will be in the locker room fighting over who gets the mirror, right? Just kidding. But anyway, we're looking forward to exciting things, and hopefully soon they will announce more information about sponsors and the stadium in Miami. And I think when they finally get that, big push to Miami, that's when we'll start seeing more superstars. But for now, we just recreate the fun we had at the Fusion, and we'll all be happy. Cheers, guys. Thanks for a great show. Love you.
All right. Thank you. One World, One Goal. I'm getting corrected. My name is Marvin Meals, not Mills. Sorry? I say everybody's name wrong. They consider it
he does.
Yeah.
Or if we say it, he's actually Ecuadorian, as I am Marvin Mieles. Is that how you say it? Mieles.
I don't know. I'm never going to get that right. I'm never going to get that right. Just be happy with Miles or Mills or Meals or, Marvin. Thanks for watching.
There you go. Just stick with Marvin.
Anyways. But, they Thanks, One World, One Goal, getting us back on track a little bit. She said, Ed, that we don't need a superstar. But I would say that Chris Henderson is a superstar in the front office. If you look at what he did with Seattle Sounders, I mean, they got I think 2 MLS Cups while he was there, 3 Supporters Cups, and a couple of Supporter Shields, I believe. So this man,
all they needed was a partridge in a pear tree, man, and they would have been, it would have been totally complete.
Yeah, and of course he's not doing it on his own there, but he was heavily involved with all that stuff, and so yeah, we've got I think a big star in the front office. Hey, I don't think, just FYI, because now I don't want anybody to jump on Marvin. I don't think he was being sensitive. He had "just kidding" on the end of it. I just read it, and he put JK at the end. So let's not gang up on Marvin. It's okay that I say everybody's name wrong. But
he used to get Ed wrong too. That's how bad he was. Couldn't pronounce that right.
I can't say Eduardo.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
It's actually. Well, some of you guys know my actual name. I'm not going to say it on here, but you get extra points if you know my full name.
All right. But anyways, so what were your thoughts okay, so we thought I did a news thing where it was going to be Jovan Karofsky, because I had a good source that was saying that deal was all but done. The only thing that would potentially hold it back was if Karofsky did not want to move from LA, where he'd uproot his family. And so I'm guessing that's what I'm guessing is happening, because from what I was told, he was sitting on the deal for 3 weeks and he had to make a decision. So
he's got a good thing in LA, so
right.
He probably said, you know what, I'm good here. Kids are happy. Everybody's happy. So
I got a question though, because we know that they talked to Chris Henderson 2 years ago when they decided to instead go with Tubby, and as he's affectionately called on this channel, at least by one person that I don't see in the chat today. But so he was a second choice. He lost the job to Paul McDonough. Now they go back to the well and say, okay, now you're our first choice, or maybe it was a second choice again behind Karofsky. If you're Henderson, do you now say, okay, you got to pay me a little bit more? I would hope so.
Sure. Yeah, he's like, look, guys, you should have had me in the first place, but you guys thought that Paul guy was going to be all that, and now you got to spend some extra cash on for me. But he was here, he played here in South Florida before, so he's familiar with the area
for 1 year.
He's familiar with the people. Yeah. I think he stuck around for a little bit, but the thing is, he probably liked it. He wanted to stay here, and he's like, you know what? I'm going down there, to catch the beach and the nightlife and see what Miami is. But of course, you can't go out that much nowadays. But down the road, it's going to happen. So, and plus this project, I mean, the ownership that we have, David Beckham, being around. It's just an exciting time to be here, and he's but the thing, he's got to pick up the pieces, of a first year that was, lackluster, I'd say.
And that's why I put in the image, or the title of the video is 2021 feeling a little bit like 2020, because for one reason, we're starting all over again, right? So we got a whole new coaching system, whole new coaches, all set of new coaches, and we don't even know what his assistant coaches are. And I know some of us are really hoping there's an MLS guy in that assistant coach ranks, not all a bunch of foreign coaches. It would be good if they have somebody that understands the league, to help Neville understand some of the nuances. Obviously, Henderson knows the nuances for the front office, but I mean, as far as actual play, I think it would be good. But so all new front office. There's going to be a new president as well. It feels like we're a new franchise all over again. But at the same time, so it feels a little bit like 2020 all over again, because we're starting all over again. But it also, you're still hampered with some of those decisions from 2020 that Paul McDonough made, and maybe Alonso helped with in the end. So some of these players that maybe Neville or Henderson would not have picked, they may not have picked a Pizarro or a Higuain or even a Matuidi. I mean, who knows? These may not have been their kind of guys, but now they're stuck with them.
They're kind of stuck with it now.
They're not going anywhere for at least the time being. I think most of those contracts are at least lasting another year and maybe 2 in some cases. So they're saddled with some of the decisions that were made in 2020. So question is, how much TAM space do we really have? We kept talking about we had a lot of TAM. Paul McDonough kept talking about we had a lot of TAM and he was going to use it. Well, how much of that TAM has he used by getting somebody like Matuidi in a TAM deal, which was a good deal, but how much of that TAM money did you use? How much TAM and GAM and general allocation money or targeted allocation money is there available for Henderson and Phil Neville to rebuild this team? Or are they going to have to just kind of work with what they got and put a few MLS journeyman type players to replace the ones that we lost?
Well, I think that's what's going to happen, Peter. They have to work with what they got. If they do have a lot of TAM, GAM, damn, there's so many AMs, huh?
Damn.
They got to work with it. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. If they did work with those guys who have high paychecks, if they are able to bring Pellegrini down a bit where they can have that last DP spot open up again and bring somebody that they want in. Neville, he's got a lot of work to do. He does speak Spanish, though. They mentioned that in the interviews. I don't know if you heard that.
He said, I watched the entire press conference. I didn't watch it live, but luckily it's on YouTube. You can watch it whenever you feel like it. So I watched it later that evening.
Yeah.
And he said he would do the next press conference in Spanish.
Nice. That's going to be good. Maybe that'll make Beckham speak more Spanish. We know Beckham could do the cafecitos. That's a good thing.
Right. But I heard that he does. Well, so the Twitter sphere lit that up saying he doesn't speak Spanish. He speaks, what did he speak in Valencia? It's not straight up Spanish or it's not Cantonese. That's Chinese.
There's different dialects.
Catalonia. Is that what it's called? When like people in Barcelona, where they say Barcelona instead of Barcelona.
Well, there's a Basque area. There's the
anyways, I don't remember, but the Twitter sphere was lighting it up, saying no, he doesn't speak Spanish. He speaks some different dialect of Spanish, some European version of it, and that the Cubans and the Ecuadorians and all that here in Miami would not necessarily understand that. I don't know. I mean, the man said he speaks Spanish. He said he's going to do the press.
Yeah, that's what we know. He speaks Spanish, guys. Calm down.
And that, I think, was great, because that was one of my concerns at one point when he was first announced is, are we going to have the same communication problem that we had with Alonso, but now flipped? But no, it sounds like he could communicate. He just said it was his first press conference, so he was a little nervous. He didn't feel quite comfortable to do it in Spanish, but he said he would do his second press conference in Spanish. So
I can't wait to hear that one. Yeah. That's going to be a good one. I want to hear that. He probably has that Spanish accent. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever, as long as you understand him, right? All right. So is that going to happen here in Miami? Or if let's say he has a European sounding, English accent sounding Spanish, are all you Latinos here in South Florida going to get on the man's case and saying, he doesn't sound Cuban, or he doesn't sound Colombian, he sounds, like he's from Spain.
From Spain or something.
Are we going to give him a hard time because of the dialect or the accent's different?
People probably,
I hope not.
Say, he speaks like a Spaniard or something. But as long as he speaks Spanish, you'll be able to understand him, and I think that's going to go a long way with insight, especially with the team.
Yes.
Because, last guy we had, Alonso, his English wasn't that great. He said a couple words here and there, but, inside the when he's coaching everybody, he needs to be able to communicate them. He needs to tell Pellegrini and Carranza what to do. You need to have that ability to speak his mind and for these guys to understand him. So, a bilingual coach is the best thing they could have done. And that's one of the things that Beckham was saying. He's like, yeah, the guy's my friend, but the guy's qualified to do it, and obviously the language, there's a mark right there in the positive. He's obviously, can speak the language. So, well, we're going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, so much of that, there was quite a bit of that in the press conference where it was people hinting about, or not hinting, coming right out and asking his qualifications as a coach, Phil Neville, if it was nepotism, cronyism, however you want to call it, nepotism if it's related. But I mean,
isms, in my opinion, are not good. A person should not believe in isms. A person should believe in himself.
Oh,
remember that one?
No.
Oh, that's from First Bueller's Day Off. I know the whole thing.
Oh man, I haven't seen that in so many years. I love that movie. I was trying to get my daughter to watch that, and she was like, "Man, hey, something."
Isms are not good, man.
Okay, something that Troy mentions here that I also was that jumped out big time was Troy says the press conference suggests that the academy is the priority for team development. Yeah, they touched on Jorge Mas. I think specifically said that it was not just about wins and losses, and they said over and over again, academy development. And so it seems like
DNA. They said DNA like every other word,
and culture and things like that. These are all, I think, big issues between both Paul McDonough and Alonso. So there's obviously more to it than just losses, because that's what a lot of people were roasting Inter Miami, saying they didn't give Alonso enough time in a COVID year. Now, though, none of those people are local. Everybody local was like, see ya. But people internationally or nationally were. You go on the message boards on The Athletic or on MLSsoccer.com, and so many people were bashing Inter Miami for canning the guy so quickly. But if it really, between Paul McDonough and Alonso, if they were not embracing the academy in the way that Beckham really wants, because you saw how important the academy is to him. To him, I think the academy is way more important than the first team, because that's his history. That's where he came from, and he wants to be able to deliver that to some other kids in South Florida. And they did kind of hit home that how cool would it be to have your team made up, a good chunk of your team made up with kids from South Florida. And he specifically mentioned Ian Frey, I think is his name, who played for Fort Lauderdale CF. He's one of the academy kids, and he looked good. And if I remember correctly, he was from Coconut Creek, and that's why I remembered him.
Yeah.
But they called him out. So a lot more to just the fact that they couldn't win any games.
Yeah, I kind of like that, man. If eventually that does happen, but in the first year, I mean, you're still trying to get used to the players and the academy, and everything that happened as well. You didn't get to see a lot of these players, do their thing in the field. So I think the first year was definitely going to be a hard year for any coach, especially with what happened. They kept saying we're not going to let 2020 be an excuse for what happened or whatever, but it kind of was, it kind of was, even though they want to act like it, everything that happened was not a problem. It was. And anyways, the thing is, we're ready for Inter Miami for this year to be what 2020 wasn't. I think it's good that the coach is going to be here from the beginning. It wasn't like Alonso, who came in with 2 weeks to spare before I think it was like 2 weeks to spare before the whole season started. I think that was a problem. Now they're here on time. They're here early, and they need to fill up that roster quick. And we've already got 3 new players, Peter. I don't know if we haven't really talked about them much. We got to go down.
No, yeah. We have not talked about them at all. But one thing before we go into that, there was a chat that I wanted to comment on. I don't know anymore. Says I think due to Miami getting a new coach, they haven't been able to make much signings apart from the draft. Hopefully, in the coming months, they sign some signings, something like that. I think also keep in mind, I think some of that may have to do with the fact that the force majeure clause was enacted, and now they're negotiating with the MLSPA. Well, actually, they're not. They put out the fact that they will, they want to extend the push off the deal for 2 years and no pay cuts for the players. The MLSPA has not responded at all, and they don't feel rushed at all. I'm sure a lot of us saw or got the email from Don Garber that ended up, I think if you have a username and password or something like that on MLS Soccer, you probably got an email, or a season ticket holder or something like that, you probably got an email. But in that he used that email to straight up call out the MLSPA. So I think that will definitely plays a part in signings. It's kind of hard to make some big splashes when you're just unsure. But we did sign. Or not signed, but we did pick 3 people, which is Josh Penn out of Indiana University, Ame Mabika, if I'm saying that right, from Kentucky, and Joe Hafferty from Oregon. 2 defenders and 1 forward/winger. This is the pick this is the pick, Josh Penn, that everybody was sitting there shaking their head or confused, didn't understand the pick. Yeah, where did that come from? When our first pick, you would assume, would have been, defense.
Defenders, yeah.
They went with a young guy who only played 1 year for Indiana, so they obviously saw something in him. Or here's a little thing I found. I found a little factoid about Chris Henderson. It was specifically about Seattle. That Seattle in the last. Not 2020, but in 2017, 2018, and 2019. In those 3 drafts, they only signed 1 of their draftees.
Wow. So these guys aren't signed yet.
Just because they were picked up does not mean they were signed. And then I also read some other little thing about it was a weird year for college, apparently. And so some players may get drafted, but may still want to finish their college year. And so they've worked out a deal with MLS, and I forget the exact details, but the MLS team that drafted him, the player can decide to not join that team and finish out his college, and then once he graduates, he would then sign with that team. That team holds those players' rights until the player graduates from college, because apparently there are some players that wanted to do that. And a lot of times in previous years, a lot of teams have already or the players have already signed contracts with MLS. Maybe not with individual clubs, but they've signed contracts with MLS. This year, from what I understood, no players signed with MLS ahead of the draft.
Oh, wow.
Ahead of the draft. So just because we picked up, say, Josh Penn or Mabika, and also this guy Hafferty, which we don't have a picture for in this little thing I ripped off from Inter Miami. They may or may not end up on the team, and if they do end up on the team, there's a good chance they end up on Fort Lauderdale. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing.
No,
I mean, they'll get playing time, but Peter, this whole draft thing, college. All these college players, they're coming in late. Most of them are like, 21, 22, 20 years old. That for soccer is late. And I don't know if this is going to work in the future, especially because most of the teams now have their own academies. Do you think this college draft thing will go away eventually?
No, I don't think so. Andre G is correcting and saying Hafferty was traded to Seattle. Yeah, see, I remember one player was. I couldn't remember what his name was. So Hafferty, okay, thanks for correcting this. And that one I know kind of pissed off at least some fans that we didn't really get anything for it other than a future pick. So to me, it was kind of like one of those backroom deals that were giving you back one of your own little like homegrown players to Seattle, kind of like those deals that MLS teams have been accused of doing for years. These backroom deals, that things get done, and because we could have gotten like a pick and some money for him. But we just got another pick for him. I just couldn't remember what the player's name was, but thanks, Andre, for that. So, Ed, no, I don't think the draft is going away because there's players. As long as there's players available, we're going to want to, MLS teams are going to want to be able to choose them. So it's just that...
You don't think they'll start just using the players, the homegrown players that they have? I mean, because a lot of these guys, they're going to college, but they're kind of old.
Yeah,
when they get out.
But what do you have to lose if you're an MLS team to drafting? You pick or you don't pick, right? You could be like Philadelphia Union, who sold all their picks. From what I understand, they sold all their picks. So we're not interested in picking anybody. You could do that. Right. So I mean, it's just another way to get players. I would agree that you're going to probably prefer your academy players over a draftee, and that you're not expecting. I don't think you put as much weight in the draft. So like if your team has a bad draft, you go, whatever. Doesn't really matter that much. I think that's where the direction we're going. I don't think it goes away. I just think the importance of the draft every year gets less and less and less.
True. All right.
But I agree with you, and I also agree with Jazz Fusion here. They rely on their academy. That's going to be their first pick, obviously. If you have two players, you got one from the draft and you got one of your homegrown players. I think you're going to give more time to your homegrown player. But at the end of the day, whoever's better gets to play.
That's right.
All right. So what else is in the chat? Peter, you on a diet? Peter, you're on a diet. You're not sick, right? So yes, Marvin, I am okay. I actually just to tell. My wife has got some friends over the house tonight. And I went to go grab a beer. I ended up with just this water because they drank all my beer. Ed. All my wife's friends drank all my beer.
Man,
it's a bunch of workout ladies, and I figured they don't want beer. They want to work. They're all about working out. But
they're about the calories and that, and keeping the beer. You need more beer, is what Marvin is saying.
Yeah. I only had a couple in the fridge, and we're gonna give them to the guests, of course. I don't mind at all. Because they were doing their own little thing, their own little women's night, eating their Greek food. Me and my daughter, we ordered some Italian food. Ed, I have not had Italian food in probably, other than pizza, in well over a year.
Wow. Yeah, me too, man. As a matter of fact, I just got back. We went with the wife and the kids to the Cheesecake Factory, and I actually had some the spaghetti alla carbonara. It was a while since I had some Italian food. Man,
Italian food is one of my favorites, but I'm trying to watch the calories. Watch the intake. So yes, I did lose a bunch of weight. So. But I'm okay. I'm okay, as far as I know.
Yeah, he's not sick, guys. There's a lot of people have been asking me too. He's like, "What's up with Peter? Why is he so skinny, man?" Because if you guys see the videos that we have when we first started this the YouTube channel, you'll see Peter. He's well fed back then.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you, man. Tonight I had chicken parm, I had lasagna, I had some minestrone soup. I had some bread. Ooh. Come on now. Now of course that means tomorrow all I'm doing is eating salad. But
wow.
I gotta make up for it tomorrow.
As long as you feel better and you're not feeling
exactly
sick because you don't have all your vegetables.
The funny thing is, you change your diet around. And okay, this is now the diet chat here on FMTV.
Yeah, we go from Godzilla to this.
Here, let's get up close for a diet talk here on FMTV. We
Yeah, get closer to the camera.
Oh, okay. Let me get up here. Hey, everybody.
There you go.
All right, we're gonna. Anyways, no, it's when you do change your diet and you start eating good, and then you decide to eat something bad, it makes you feel sick. It's like your body's not used to it anymore. My body's used to all the vegetables now and stuff like that. I eat a pizza and I'm like, I feel disgusting, man. It's just like not only the way it sits in your stomach, but just it makes you feel sick. You're just not used to it anymore.
Wow.
Yes.
But anyways, let's get back to it.
Footballer. I was a linebacker back then. Supermodel diet, Judge Dredd says. Slice of cheese for lunch and a Tic Tac for dessert.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, yep. And Troy's now. He said there's a slight delay, Ed. So it's like now all the comments are coming in about the weight. Anyways, what do you think about Mabika, Ed? This guy is like 6'6".
Wow. And he's a defender. Awesome. He'll be great covering people that are, great up in the air. And but I haven't seen any of these guys play, so I don't know if they're any good.
Just size.
Unfortunately,
size.
But in
alone.
size, we definitely need size in the back. And 6'6", he's a good tall fellow that can, is going to be at least stopping people up in the air because that's, we need tall people back there.
And that's depth. And that's the one thing that Chris Henderson did talk about is depth, that this team, if you think about it, I think, starting right off the bat, our starting lineup for 2021 is going to look very similar as 2020. Hopefully we get more out of it. Hopefully hopefully Neville can get more out of this team than Alonso did, whether it be his tactics. But you know what I got out of it a lot in that press conference, Ed? It was less about Phil and his tactics or anything like that, which have been questioned at times when he was coaching the women's Great Britain team. But it seems like they're more interested in his culture building and, like you said, DNA and things like that. That's what his specialty is, really. And maybe it's like you can, I guess you can have a great assistant coaching structure where they do a lot of the coaching and you're literally just managing egos and managing personalities and stuff like that. And of course, making some substitutions before the 85th minute.
Right.
Alonso liked to do that last 5 minutes thing. But yeah, so that's the thing is I think they talked a lot about depth and Mambika adds that depth.
Nice. But yeah, as far as knowing if these players are any good, I don't think anybody knows that unless you followed college soccer.
No,
and
I don't know anything
think many
about
people do.
I don't know anything about it.
Unless you're looking at the players all the time. And I would imagine that a lot of these picks were Chris Henderson, who's probably been doing, tracking all these players. And it's, there's a reason why he picked them.
Could these have been the picks he would have made if he was with Seattle still? Possibly.
That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Or he probably has some idea of, we can either use them for the, Fort Lauderdale CF team, or we can trade them with one of the other teams. I'm sure he's got, something in the machine working on that. He's going to start using that as leverage for something. I hope. I'm crossing my fingers.
Yeah.
But like we said, he's got a lot of time to do that now because we've got till March when the season's going to start, as opposed to Alonso, who only had 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, or early April now, maybe. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. But One World, One Goal is saying, Peter, what do you think? Beckham said when Beckham said, "I am here every morning and will stay as long as it takes." It was an eye-opening wow. Yeah, we've questioned a lot here what Beckham's involvement was, and I always said that for the most part he was a figurehead. He was kind of the guy that helped us get the team, and we appreciate him for that. But I never expected him to really be a day-to-day hands-on guy, even pre-COVID. I just didn't. He's globe-trotting all around the world, selling his eyeglasses, his perfume, his cologne, his alcohol. I forgot if it's a whiskey or brandy or whatever it is, but he's busy doing a tons of other things. I never expected him to be here every day, but right now he is, and that's
in your face, Peter Brown. He's in your face. He probably heard you, talking to him like that, like you were pointing your finger at him, saying, I want to see you work. I want to see you like Jorge Mas, giving it your all. And I think he probably watches us and he said, "Oh, Peter Brown, in your face."
Yeah. I mean, I think he said he's at the training facility every single day. And he commented, one thing he said several times also was they're asking, what does his day-to-day look like? And he focused a lot. I think he mentioned a lot the medical staff. He mentioned them a few times that, so is that somewhere we were lacking? everything. But is he just using that as an example of I'm looking at everything from medical to player to everything, But yeah, he's there every day. How about that? How about him training with the kids, training with the academy?
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
He put and what
Somebody brought that up.
What I loved is he scored a goal on one of the kids, and then kind of was like, hands out, like celebrating.
I still got it.
Like in your face.
Still got it.
In your face, 13-year-old.
I'm an old man. I'm an old man, but I can still do it. That was him.
Showboating to a 12-year-old. Or however old they are. I don't know what age group it was. But
he could still play, and he looked fit, man. He looked Peter Brown fit, thin, ready to play some soccer. And I was even thinking, man, maybe this guy could, come out of retirement just for a year, or live off the bench. Well, wouldn't it be something if we could be like, like in American football, where there was a position like for one of the kicker, for example, and Beckham could come in just for the the penalties, and he'd be the designated
like
kicker, and Beckham's exactly, and then boom, he scores and he's off the field.
So footballer here is sounding a little skeptical, saying 2-1 world, 1 goal. Definitely, people who do things do not necessarily say it out loud. So I would be concerned that he's growing frustrated and he's looking to cash out on his MLS investment. I don't think so. Not yet. I do agree that I felt for I don't know, at least for 2021, I felt that this is solely an investment for Beckham, that he's not as invested as we thought he was. Now this year he's proving, at least so far, he's proving different, and hopefully he continues that. But I've believed for a while that the main thing is this is an investment. This was something that he did. It was, and I don't know for how long he'll do it. So he may cash out at some point, but I don't think he's there yet, because he's also he's a fighter. He's got pride. This is his name. And that people call it Beckham's team. So I think he stays an owner as long as it takes for them to become a winner. And once they win, you might see him cash out. Say, "I've done it. I'm done. Now moving on to something else."
We've had conversations with him before, Peter, and he said this is this was
He did.
He told me this was like for my kids. He was like, I want them to look back and say, "Look, this is my team. My dad brought this up." So when he talked to us back in the day when there was like no fans and it was only you and me and what's his name and Julio Caballero, I'm calling him, what's his name? He told us these things and we were like, that's cool, but I got to give a shout out to my friend Al Jaramillo, who says he's watching me live. He was cracking up on he sent me a little message on he liked the picture you put up with Bernie Sanders in there.
All right. You're welcome there. Where's he watching? Where's he watching?
He's watching from home. He's here in Miami.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were saying he's from somewhere else in the world or something like that.
No, Ecuadorian too.
Okay, part of the Ecuadorian mafia.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, a lot. I mean, there's so much to question about Beckham, but the one thing is he's a fighter. So I think no matter what, he at least sticks around long enough to turn this into a winner. And maybe you're right. Maybe what he told us is right. Maybe this is his thing he passes on to his kids. That's what I would hope. That it's more than an investment and stuff like that. So, and I love the fact that he's got this whole family here now. So now he's kind of like trapped here, right? COVID has him trapped here. So he was trapped in England. Now he's trapped here, and it's a good place for him to be trapped. Jose Velasquez is half Ecuadorian. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts. he can join. He can join the mafia.
Yeah, 1 world, 1 goal is saying, you want the pinch hitter thingy. Yeah, baseball
thingy.
Yep. Thingy.
Yeah, something like that. That would be something.
Yep.
I don't think it'll fly, but
no, it's not. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But anyways, hey, at the end of the day, I think somebody else in here said something about it. We can at least be happy we have a team, and amen to that. We can sit here on the show, and we will every single week maybe nitpick and pick apart every little detail. But at the end of the day, even if we're in last place, for a decade, I'm still happy we got a team. I would just be complaining that we need to win, but I'm still going to be there, and I'm still happy
that we're in last place.
Yeah, I'm going to wear their gear proudly. Last weekend I was traipsing around Disney World wearing my 3/4 zip pink jacket and my hat and all that. Rocking out the Inter Miami.
Anybody
stuff.
say something to you?
Not this trip.
Any Orlando fan?
Not this trip, but in previous trips. Some people, when they go to Disney, a lot of people break out their Disney shirts, right? They want to wear their Mickey shirt in Disney. I don't do that. Well, for one, I don't have a lot of them because I go to the parks often and I don't buy a lot of things. I'd rather just go again, save my money and make another trip. Right. But what I do is I wear my local stuff. Like you might see me wear a Miami FC shirt or back in the day a Strikers shirt. Now it's all Inter Miami stuff. It's like I want to rep my city in another city. I find that kind of fun.
Right.
And
especially there.
Yeah. And I've been there and people have done shout outs like Inter Miami as I walk by and stuff like that. So yeah, people, there's
they recognize
the team, the logo and everything like that. And then of course I see some Orlando City shirts. I don't say anything to them, but I give them that dirty look, I give them that look,
Mm-hmm. You're like,
how about that?
I see you.
Yeah,
I see you.
So I saw a girl. I was in line. I was in line for Winnie the Pooh. I was in line for Winnie the Pooh, Ed, and and there was a woman, like a few people in front of me, wearing a LA Galaxy scarf.
Oh, look at that!
I did not talk to her because nowadays, with 6 feet apart, 2 or 3 people in front of you is like 20 feet away. So. It's like, hey, how about LA? Mm-hmm. I'm not doing that, right? So,
yeah, that's cool.
But anyways, hey, Ed, it was a lot of fun tonight.
It was. We definitely having a good time talking. Look at that. An hour went by and we're, I could still keep going.
It's an hour and 2 and we could still keep going. It's a lot of fun and it makes you guys in the chat make it fun. And so thanks so much for everybody. Troy says that Inter Miami pink kit looks good on everyone. That's it.
Amen.
That's it. But you know what? And I think it was Judge Dredd made a comment about the white shirt. The white kit shirt does not necessarily look good on everybody because it is see-through.
Yep. And you can, if it gets cold, you can tell it's cold.
Exactly.
And if it's wet, you can see what's underneath.
Footballer wants to go into overtime here. He wants to go into extra time. He wants to go past the 90.
Well, Ed, I think stuff to do.
I think we kind of ran out of things to talk about. I mean, I think we covered most of the things we wanted to talk about. At the end of the day, I'll wrap up saying this. I think we are in a better shape now than we were. I had a lot of faith in Paul McDonough in the very beginning, but that faith quickly faded, and he was really riding the coattails off of 1 or 2 good seasons with Atlanta. You look at Henderson, he may have coattails as well, but he's got, I think 14 years or something like that in Seattle, and they are a proven winner. Multiple trophies in that cabinet, not just one. I mean, so he's well decorated, and so I think we are in a better place this year than last year. And the one thing I would say, too, is you could count on Phil Neville getting a longer leash than Alonso did. That friendship may not have gotten him the job, but I think at the very least, it will buy him more time. He will be given more than a season if he needs it to be, unless he decides to leave. So he will. I think we're in a better place this year than we were last year. The only negative is we are still saddled with some of the players from last year that maybe this group does not want. But let's see what this coaching staff can do with those players. Maybe those players were really good picks. They just weren't coached right or put into positions to win. So let's see if that culture changes. Will Trapp said they were a bunch of individuals, and we just kept hearing over and over about culture, DNA, and things like that wasn't there. So I think we'll be in a better place this upcoming 2021 season. So everybody,
hope so. Yeah.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. It was a blast. And please make sure to go and check out Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com. Get all the 2020 gear there. and be on the lookout. Coming soon, they will have 2021 gear coming soon. I was already talking to him about it. I don't know how many new things are coming out, but they definitely, whatever's new, they'll be getting it, and that's the place to go buy it. So,
all right, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, guys. Do it.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next week. Stay safe, everybody. 6 feet apart, masks, all that stuff. See ya.